Hi, all of you. So, if you're gonna go back to 2008, if you want to go back to 2008, can you go stop by Circuit City for me and pick up a few of these items? And if you want some things from 2008, you can go ahead and buy some for yourself too. So, well, here's the ad for you. So, Christmas 2008. So these are what Circuit City had back then. They had a TV and so like look at the prices of some of these TVs they had. Well, they had a 73-inch 1080p for $2,500 and $2,800 for a Sony. It was a 1080p as well. And then okay, and then there's more things, more TVs for sale. I mean, that's when the price, well, they're pretty high. I mean, apparently some of these TVs are pretty high. Look at this, well, that's a 37-inch for $500. And then, well, these were the better branded TVs, I guess. Samsung, $3,200, damn. And what size, that was a 52-inch. God dang, they had a bunch of these flat panel TVs. They're all pretty expensive, man, back in those days, man. And then, of course, they had these theater systems. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean. And then, of course, the Wii games. And then the Wii stuff. And then Xbox 360. I mean, this was barely 2 years old. Xbox 360 at the time was only 2 years old at the time. Can you imagine that? And then this. And then these games for the DS, Mario Kart. And then PlayStation 3, is it? Yeah, that's PlayStation 3. And then PlayStation 3 was what? 2 years old at the time? But the Xbox 360 was 3 years old. So, I mean, and then these cases, I guess, for the... Yeah. And then I think these are games? Yeah, these are games. 360. Oh, they had a 360 game or something, whatever that is. And then Blu-ray players, remember that? Well, Blu-rays came out in 2006. Because if we remember, Blu-ray players were very expensive back then. Shit. Look at the price of some of these, man. $3.99 for a Blu-ray player. And then we had the... Is this a Blu-ray or is this a... No, I think that's a DVD, is it? I don't know if that was... I think that's a DVD player only. I mean, the sophisticated ones, you know, like... And then... DVD players. I'm telling you. And then the computers, e-machines for $3.99 and stuff. And what kind of like specifications? And then this, and then the Sony. Well, they were popular computers back then. Sony was popular, but they were expensive too. I mean, and then there's more of them. You know, HP. And then the specifications they had. One price promise, oh yeah. And then the desktops, remember these desktops? And what they had back then? Yeah, they had, well, I mean, well, they're becoming sophisticated going on to these days. I mean, 6 gigabytes of RAM. Well, this was an expensive one, but this is 2008. I mean, so... The technology was getting better back then. At that time, it started to get better. I mean, they started improving, you know, like the prices were getting better for the computers in those days, if I remember. And then look at the hard drives. 1 terabyte, $150. And then there's a 500 gigabyte for $89. And then remember all these hard drives that they used to have? Remember that, 500 gigabyte, damn, $150. And then computers, speakers and stuff. What's this? I don't even know what that is. Is that a USB or something? And then the routers. I remember I had one of these. And then more iPods. Classic. Remember these? The iPods. Nano. Remember these things, man? Damn, $250 for the better ones. And then these speakers for the phones. Yeah, where you hook up your phone. And then the iPods. Well, you know what? I don't know. I think these are the after. No, that's a case. Oh, these are just cases. But iPod Nanos. Well, you know, I don't even know. But I remember the iPod Nanos. Remember that. And then, of course, I think these were like aftermarket iPods. And then the Apple. Yeah, they remember these? The iPods that used to look like iPhones. I mean, well, that was pretty common, you know, like that was pretty popular in those days. And then these are the ones that were not the iPods. But everybody swore by the iPods, Apple, anything Apple. People always swore by those. But they did have SanDisk or Samsung. Well, I think it was mostly things like this that they had. And these cost a fraction of the cost of an iPod, you know. But I had one of these. I had, well, not this specific model or anything, but I had them. I had a music player from SanDisk. I think I still have it somewhere around in the house somewhere. And then these are CDs, DVDs. Some of you guys are probably saying, "Oh wow, I remember that movie, man. I'm glad to be of service. If you're happy that I reminded you of this." And then remember, they used to sell navigations. Remember, it was like the trend to buy a navigation system, and like remember we used to pay about this much, like. Sometimes I had bought one of these before. I think it was a Garmin. I bought one for like $100 one time. But in today's time, we don't even need them now because our phones have them. All of our phones have them built in, you know. And then the car stereos. I mean, I don't even know if these are a trend in today's time or not. I mean, speakers and and more speakers and. And then the phones. Look at the phones. Remember BlackBerry? Yeah. Well, the touchscreen phones were becoming big back then, you know. And then remember these? Some of these, I mean, these phones. Well, I mean, I think these were like the later phones. LG. Yeah, they had Bluetooth in those days. And then they had LG. I don't remember some of these things. And then the camcorder, and then the cameras, the DSL cameras, and then more of them. $600. But now today you could probably pick one up for like $50 now. More of these digital cameras. And then another player, But you know, I like the players, the audio players that had an SD card. I actually preferred an audio player with an SD card input because I like the convenience of being able to put the music on the SD card as I please, and I could change the size if I wanted to. I could put a 512 megabyte, or I could put a 2 gigabyte, whatever I want, whatever size I want. I mean, that's what I liked about the ones that I use as memory cards. Not like these Apple ones that none of these Apples ever had the ability to add a memory card. And that's one of those things I always hated about Apple, because you can't add memory cards on those. But with things like this, you can. I mean, I always like it better if it could do with memory cards, you know. So I was never a fan of Apple because of it. But anyway, so then we have the camcorders. I think this was a hard drive Yeah, I remember that they used to do hard drive camcorders. I mean, what did I think of those? I mean, Well, I was not. I was only a fan with tape camcorders, you know. So yeah. And then the memory card. Look at the memory card. 8 gigabyte for 29 bucks. 4 gigabyte for let me see, 17 bucks. 8 gigabyte for $39, and well, the better ones. But you know, some of these they weren't like, they had more than just an SD card, because I mean, some of these, I mean, that's back in the day when they had other kinds of memory cards. But I mean, but then all of these phased out and it's only the SDs now. It's only SDs that exist, and the micro SDs. It's only those that exist. And then, well, I already looked into this page. Well, the last page, and there's more like our ultimate stuff. So that's another navigation. I guess iPod minis, or what did they call Nano? iPod Nano was $150 back then. I mean, these are very popular back then. I didn't even know they were 8 gigabytes, you know. That would seem like a good price for something like this too back then. But but anyway, iPod Nano, remember how popular they were. I mean, shit. And then another digital camera. Remember we used to do those? And then Guitar Hero. I don't know what this 360. I think I know what they're talking. I think they're talking about the controllers that had the ball on it, that had the lighted ball on top of it. It's kind of like the idea of the Wii. The Wii, yeah. They're kind of like trying to copy the Wii at the time. So more memory cards. This one has, which one is this one? Oh, 4 gigabyte. Telling ya. And then more computer stuff, computer equipment with this specifications. So yeah, HP, more of these and then the specifications. And then a hard drive. This was a 320 gigabyte, and then they have these. I think this is it for this page. that was a Black Friday 2008 page, and I have many more. It spans from 2001 up until, say, about 2020. I mean, so I mean, I'll do another one. I'll do another one in another video. So, all right. Well, I hope you liked this video, and I hope you enjoyed the throwback of the things I used to have back in the day. All right. I'll see you on the next video.